you'd have to go before zoning and request a variance for frontage and say that you only have 25 feet of frontage. But I can't speak for zoning. You could reach out to the chairman of the zoning board, George Slingo, and you could ask him, explain the situation,
Sure.
what ended up happening here, and see whether or not he thinks zoning could approve that.
Yeah, because Dad was thinking one of us would come back, either Kevin or I, and that was the whole motivation for it.
Would
What's
you
the
be,
gentleman's name?
would you be willing to do the same thing that we just talked about with the other gentleman?
Yeah,
doing
I
a
mean,
private way to get out to
That's what we were thinking, like just putting in a driveway and,
and calling it a private way.
and make it long enough that a fire truck technically could get in there. The other good thing that happened in the last 5 years is there's a fire hydrant now, right at the end of the entrance.
Okay.
That wasn't there before.
So, Mr. Horn, to your point, the only problem I see with the private, doing it as a private road is the fact that if you did a 25-foot wide one, like we just talked about, it would be a 25-foot road that would go in adjacent to lot 47 and then kind of like have to jog over.
Right, it would be a 25-foot taking. The road could be as little as 12 or 15 feet wide.
But then he would still have to do it to the end of
End of the
to the end of the
lot.
property line.
Yeah.
So he'd be building a road.
So all the way to the end of the lot.
Yeah.
So about 225 feet, something like that.
225 feet. In
Well, that's
my
a lot
mind-
cheaper than 15. 15 feet's a lot cheaper than doing 25 feet times.
Yeah,
200.
I mean, you're gonna have a taking of 25 feet, so you can't
Right.
build a road 25 feet wide.
But if
And
he-
our standard's not 25 feet for,
But
It's only
if, but
20.
if he could get the variance from zoning, why not just do a driveway?
right.
Yeah, and I mean, I
Because the
could pitch the
driveway, you could
neighbor.
literally have the driveway just come up far enough so he can get onto that lot.
Right.
And stop.
And I know that the neighbor to the right, he's recent, he bought it from the Jeevries, I want to say 6 years ago. He had mentioned to me when we met that he would love to be able to park a car there, so I'll make him a proposal. Listen, I'll make you a
Yeah.
parking space for your cars.
But again, you want to do, like Mr. Chinaki said to the last person, you really need an attorney.
I don't know if you guys are familiar, I talked to Mark Ehrlich, I went to high school with Mark, so
Yeah,
I figured I'd ask him.
okay. And if he doesn't have the answer, he could probably refer you to somebody that would, because I think you might be looking more for like a title attorney.
Okay, okay,
Somebody who specializes in these are unique.
right,
Yeah, exactly.
right.
So, just like we said to the last person who was here about his,
Right.
it's, I don't think it's gonna be easy, but I think there's a way to do it.
But
Okay.
this, is this part of the GNS, is it still on the town maps and named and everything like that?
Yeah, that one is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's
no-
been paying taxes as a buildable lot
Yeah,
since he's owned it.
Oh yeah, that's the other difference I wanted to point out, that yours is classified as a buildable lot.
so what I remember from one of the discussions that we had, like I said previously way back, I think it actually came from the one on Raymond Street, was, at the time, I think Mr. Brackett, when he was here, said that any abutter on a street that's laid out, named, and on the town maps, but it's a paper road and it wasn't built, any of the abutters they all have interest in that property.
They have a right to access.
They have a right to access, right. And they can make improvements to that way at their own expense, at any time.
But that doesn't solve his frontage problem.
If you put the road all the way through, it would, or up
Yeah.
to the end of the end of his driveway, it would. But
Yeah,
I mean,
if we-
like, I don't know when this subdivision was approved. Was it approved in 1971, or was it approved in 1950, or?
I think it was 70-something, I have the,
Okay, so,
Paperwork
I mean,
for it.
like, building a road from 1970 is gonna still be more expensive than doing a driveway.
right.
So you might wanna go to the.
And
you
I
might
bet
wanna
the
go
people,
driveway
the two
route.
houses that are butt in the back, they'd probably have no interest of changing anything. And the gentleman to the right, Dad's been using it as a driveway, it's been plowed by him for the last, since he's owned the house, so.
But
I
if
mean-
this is part that was accepted but just never approved by the
Right.
town,
Yeah.
doesn't that create a problem from his standpoint of being able to,
Well-
I understand he has access because
Right.
it's
If he goes the route, like what he wants to do, and do a private way, driveway, or whatever you want to call it, to get to access his property,
Mhm.
if you went to so that you've got a total of five people abutting this this roadway. So if you went to all 5 people and said, explained to them what you want to do, and they were in agreement that that was okay, like, the people that are living at exit number 48 and 79, what you could do after that is you could, after you get your project, part of the project done, it's basically not going to affect anybody else,
No.
because you're the only lot that's left there. So then you could go to the 5 people that are involved, 2 of the lots which you already own, so then there's only 3 people involved. But like at lot 48 and 79, you could go to the town, have that roadway abandoned, and then they would get that 25 feet to come over to their property, and the other guy would get his 25 feet, you would get your 25 feet, your father would get his 25 feet,
Right.
and the other guy would get their 25 feet. And that would basically take that portion of the roadway off the map,
Right.
and it would just become private property.
Yeah, and there would be no burden by the town either. I mean,
No,
we're not
and-
looking to have
I
anybody
mean, the only
plow.
thing
All
like-
these lots would get bigger.
All these
Yeah.
lots would get bigger,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, that makes sense. I actually haven't talked to a surveyor yet, so Keith Krasinski was out there because we're putting in a new septic system for the house. And
They live right around the corner, don't they?
he's, I grew up with him, 3 houses over.
Yeah.
So the width of what's there, shown on this plan, I can't find. I'll figure it out, but
It's probably close to 50 feet from
That's what I was
from the
thinking,
scale
too.
of it. It looks like
Yeah,
around
looks
50
like it.
feet.
and I mean, I was only thinking I didn't need anything bigger than maybe 20 at the max.
Yeah,
15.
because I mean, like, if you're going to do a driveway, you could do it at 12 feet wide.
Isn't part of that growth at Paper Street as it is now.
I mean, you would need a driveway large enough so that you could accommodate a fire truck
That's right.
to get there.
So I was thinking of making one that, yeah, exactly, longer than the lot, so he can pull in and.
Yeah.
pull up.
But, yeah, definitely.
Was the gentleman from zoning you mentioned?
George Slingo. You can actually call Brady.
Yeah, I can give you his contact
Yeah.
information.
Thank you.
tomorrow if you'd like.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's
Yeah.
actually positive. Came out of a negative situation. Unfortunately, Dad passed. You know, he's well missed. Gentlemen, thank you.
Yep.
You have a good night.
See you. Take care. Thanks, Lynn.
Okay. Appreciate everyone's patience tonight. Next item on the agenda is we have an A&R for 24 Oxford Ave, JD&D Construction.
Good evening, members of the board.
Good evening.
My name is Attorney Henry Knight. I'm from Lane and Hamer. I'm here on behalf of the parties submitting the A&R. It's kind of timely that we just talked about a couple paper streets because, yes, this was, and it involves litigation, claim of equity, when the road was abandoned, and so we have here a proposal for an A&R.
That's the Mylar. What's up here?
Oh, absolutely.
Come up here to sign it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So this was just to refresh the board's memory in case, actually, this might predate a couple of the board members, but this was, JD&D was the site plan on Oxford Ave, the big new commercial building that they built. And at the time, they were able to go to town meeting and get the town to do exactly what Mr. Horn was just talking about on the last one, abandon or give up all the rights to Chestnut Street extension, because it was a little strip that went nowhere, exactly. So, the only thing I was curious about, so what is the purpose of now giving half of it back? Is it because I noticed that, again, there's a shed? The neighbor's already kind of annexed it on his own?
So this
Looks
is
like a driveway too, right?
Yes, so at this point, this is pursuant to a legal case here where there was an equitable claim for to relieve the cloud of title. So it's been in litigation for some point now, and the parties have come to an agreement to split the lot exactly down the middle. So
Yeah.
they're there now.
Okay.
They're at that point, and we have the agreement ready. I have a copy of the of the last court date. Basically, what's happening with the court status is that the parties are awaiting endorsement of the survey plan by the Dudley Planning Board prior to recording their boundary line agreement and dismissing this matter by stipulation. So that's the status of the court case. The legal claims and disputes have been settled essentially, and this is just for the final approval and recording by the town.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember this.
So, is the person who's getting this other part of the property that's being conveyed to them, are they here this evening by any chance?
No, they're not. They both signed on to the submission.
Okay, no,
I apologize.
in case they were here.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, just for clarification, my office represents Stanislav Palka,
Okay,
and Attorney Shivik represents JD&D Construction. But I have come down here pursuant to the agreement of the parties. But for clarity, I do appreciate you asking, and I do represent Mr. Palka. But they both signed on the application.
do any of the board members have any questions?
Just that parcel A is gonna go to the Palka property, and parcel B is gonna go to the JD&D, is that correct?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay. I think it's pretty simple.
It sounds to me like it's exactly what we were talking about. That it was a private way, and when they voted at town meeting and gave up rights to it, the abutter there said, hey, wait a minute, half of that should be mine.
Yeah, I remember this. I think this was one of the first paper streets we ran into, and we couldn't really figure out who got what, or how that was.
Well, they voted at town meeting, and then the other person wasn't happy.
Okay.
Because they lost their driveway.
So if we don't have any other questions, and whether a butter's here, he has to comment on it, Chair will entertain a motion.
Chairman, I move that we approve the 24 option.
Okay. Have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. So we need two signed paper copies and,
I appreciate the board members' time, and I appreciate the audience patience. I probably looked like I was going to take a little bit more time than I should have.
So you
Yes.
gotta sign two paper copies?
I got
You know, Mike?
three paper copies. I signed it too.
Okay.
There again? Oh, that's awesome.
I got myself in mine. I gotta learn to put it down before I grab it.
where am I signing? Chair.
Papers over there.
Oh, it's right here.
Thank you.
That's embarrassing. I guess I'll sign my alarm while it's a, well,
Somebody took your spot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
So on this thing. Oh, we didn't, okay. Three copies, two signed.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much.
All right, next item on the agenda, we have another A and R. This is 11 Hardlock Place, Ms. Madeline Lord. Hello again. Don't know why. Nope. Take the Mylar.
Sign in?
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right, good evening, Ms. Ward, if you'd like to just
I
tell us
will.
briefly what the purposes of the.
I will. I've lived here for 11 years. I purchased from Nichols, who purchased from the Crawfords, who built the home I live in, and were stewards of an extraordinarily beautiful property that they shared with many people. And I've enjoyed it as a place to put in big gardens for my welded sculptures and my organic gardens and my fruit and my orchard and pickleball for my friends at the Y. When I'm considering getting old and retiring and living with my children in Long Island, they suggested I sell the place. And I found that in the current economics, the people who would buy it would prefer to put it into an auto parts, flea market or a trailer park. I can't find buyers who would like to have the legacy remain of an extraordinary place within Dudley that has historical just provenance. And so I'm going to wait until I find that buyer. But I felt that the first acre, the lot at the foot of the driveway, is wooded and has always been wooded for the Crawfords and for Nichols College, and is a segue to the public park that Dudley now maintains and mows and is putting buffers up to keep the trucks from driving around in the mud. Thank you, Dudley. That to the High Pond access where people fish and walk their dogs and play frisbee with their children. And with all 150 apartments coming into the Stevens Mill, a lot more people will be walking Ardlock Place Extension dead end to use that park and to forest breathe. And if I'm going to do anything that Jane Goodall told us to do and reduce the carbon footprint, I have 0.8 acres that will always be woods and carbon sink. And I'd like to leave it that way.
You're not going to raise apes there.
And there's salamanders there, and there's, lady slippers there. There's lots of reasons to leave it the way it is. I mean, and I would love to do that. And if I can't give it to conservation, at least I can get the deed reconfigured so that when I'm able to sell that property under new conditions in the economy, that 0.8 acre will be part of the conservation that the Crawford family left to this town.
Okay.
It's always been there. It's always been like a stepchild to the Crawfords' original gift. No one's ever messed with it, except a little maybe green waste being dumped on it. But it's always been part of Dudley anyway, and I feel that it should persist. And so I want the deed to be redesigned to have that as a separate parcel and then give that parcel to conservation. And I don't know if this group does both of those things or just does the first step.
So, I understand what your intent is, but I just want to make sure you understand that by doing this A&R, you're creating a buildable lot.
I understand that.
So if you wanted to ensure that after you created this lot and you conveyed it to anyone, that it was never to be built on, you would have to have something in the deed that would stipulate that.
All right, but I want to give it to the Dudley Conservation. How do I do that?
Well, that's the sticky part, because the land that abuts it that we were talking about with the park,
Yes.
my understanding is that's not in conservation, that's just owned by the town of Dudley.
Correct.
Fine. That's
That
on the
means it's
other
under
side of the road.
It's under the jurisdiction of the
But,
town father.
but it doesn't really abut it, it's across the road. But what this parcel abuts is 100 acres that the Crawfords left to the town for conservation in perpetuity.
So there must be something in the deed then, because it's not in the Dudley Conservation Land Trust is what I'm.
Dudley Conservation Land Trust is not part of the town of Dudley.
Right,
It's,
right.
it's their
Right.
own entity.
So
But
in
there must
order,
be something else that ensures that this
all right,
100 acres.
so there's a step 2 for me
Yeah,
to then give this parcel to the Dudley Conservation Land Trust. This group will not do that for me.
No.
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 Fine. But getting the deed reconfigured then creates the parcel that can be defined and described by the surveyors to then donate to them.
Yeah, that's what we can,
Donated after.
that's what we can do for you. We can,
All
we
right,
can
and so
create,
then you'll all come to the party.
we can create the lot. That's all we can do.
All right, so let's agree to make this lot its own thing. And
so
I'll
we're gonna create the lot,
yes,
and then when you decide to convey it to whoever you're gonna convey it to,
yes,
your attorney is gonna draw up a deed,
got it.
and then you can put whatever stipulations you want in the deed.
Thank you. I love going to school.
Okay.
And then she could convey it just to the town of Dudley, which already owns the abutting
Yep.
parcel, or the land trust, which as Mr. Horn pointed out, is technically it's a separate entity.
Right. No,
They both,
this is
Yeah.
step 1 in a 2-step plan.
exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so, any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Do you know this parcel? Do any of you walk down Dudley?
I've
And go
driven,
to-
I've driven by it on Ardlock Place, and I
Yeah.
know where it is. I know where your driveway is, and I know it's on the other side of your driveway, yeah.
Yeah. And it's really, every parcel delivery, every truck that comes up the driveway to fix something, they all say, this is an amazing place. And I want to leave it that way for the town.
Okay.
And I want that wooded lot to remain the way it is. And people, trees will come down and have to be, they'll either turn into green waste or somebody will firewood them. But
Clean it up, yeah.
it just seems to me that it's the proper thing to do. And when Buzz Crawford would visit me before he died, he would run up the stairs in his house to his old bedroom and say, I really like the way you put all the plantings in, because he never planted anything except trees that grew to 300 feet, and raised dogs and sailed his boats. But his daughters are in touch with me, and I just feel that it's the right thing to do, so.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the A&R as presented for 11 Ardlock Place.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you all so much for the time you put into all of this in your town.
So, that plastic
We'll
looking
sign
sheet
here.
on the table there, we're gonna sign that,
All right,
and then we're gonna take that to the Registry of Deeds in Worcester and record it.
okay. And then I can go to conservation
Yes.
Yeah. Well, but with your attorney, obviously.
with an attorney. Oh, wait, Braden, will you help me with that? Because the sign above your door says conservation and
I work
planning.
for the Conservation Commission. The Dudley Conservation Land Trust is a
Oh,
separate.
land
entity.
trust.
Yeah, they're a separate group.
Thank you. All right, but they're on the website, or they have their own
There
website?
you go.
I'm not actually sure of that. I can, I have your number. I can,
Help me out. Will you help me out?
Sure. I'll give you their contact.
Thank you. They just did something big with the Tierney land, but they've been raising money, so won't they want something for free?
Oh.
Welcome to Dudley.
That's a happy, well, you're the best. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. for
Thank
doing
you.
what you're doing.
Thank you. Are we all set?
You got a couple more signatures coming.
All right.
That one's the extra. And that's your piece, this is the third and unsigned version.
Thank you so much, Steve. And when they surveyed it, they didn't find any bodies.
Yeah. Signed one.
Yeah.
There we go. Second one.
Okay. Are we all, is this it?
2 more.
Oh, 2 more, okay. It's been a pleasure living
These are
here.
our two.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of trees, we've just taken the forest down with all this paper.
Well, there's some really big ones there.
Yeah.
There's white oak, red oak, enormous. I mean, ship mast or driving range pillar, you know, they're really big ones.
Huge trees.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Never nice.
And I take all of these to the Conservation Trust,
No.
or to the deeds? Oh, the deeds.
Just the Mylar.
Just, this is all you need to take.
That's all I need
This is all
for
you
these.
need to- You can have these though, you paid to have them printed, you might as well.
All right, I'll wrap up my Christmas presents here.
No, it'd be good to have them, because you might need to show them to conservation or the conservation
or
land trust.
whoever.
Yeah,
The
because
children.
you're gonna, once that one gets filed at the registry of deeds, you're gonna have to look it up online where you'll have paper copies.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so when people try to play golf on my property, I'd say,
Yeah.
All right. Are we all set? Thank you, monsieur, 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 and monsieur.
Okay,
Let's go ahead and-
good night.
All right.
Now we're on to standard business. Discussion status report on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted / unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates. We have nothing new there. Country View Estates, Eisenhower Drive. They are moving forward with a betterment for that.
Okay.
That's news there. So that is news on that. Olivia mentioned that, so that'll be coming back to us. Once they iron that out. But they have a meeting coming up, I guess, before the Board of Selectmen.
Okay. Well, good for them.
Yeah. Lions Estates, nothing new there. And that brings us to Paula Lane and Circle Drive. So, gentlemen want to represent Paula Lane and Circle Drive?
Represent Paul Lane Circle Drive?
Well,
That'd be
yeah.
Conrad.
Well, again, because we get back to, for conflict of interest reasons.
Yeah, I'll recuse myself as a planning board member.
Okay. Okay, all right. What's the board's pleasure?
Sit down at the table and sign in, no problem.
I'm gonna sit up at that table.
Yeah, okay.
You making more noise over there?
My bad.
You found all this information?
Oh, Brady did.
Brady did?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I know that the proposed drains were done and everything was done, because we got everything.
Yeah. David comes with stuff.
I had a lot of it from before too.
So whichever one of you wants to start, I guess, fill us in, or,
Yeah, so the planning board of 2004, on December 29th, issued Conrad Allen his escrow back. And they gave up that one condition is to, where is it? Also, last night's planning board meeting, they requested that you put in place the drainage easement for the two pods located at 14 at the corner of Paula and Fairview. After completion of this drainage easement, the planning board will release lot 14. So this never happened.
Okay.
And he just cleared the lot, so you can see that there is absolutely nothing there.
So the thing I'm confused about is, we found the certification that says that the town released its surety in it.
Yes.
But that predates the letter, so I'm not, right?
Correct.
It doesn't make sense to me.
They released it in 2004.
You would have to bring it back to court and have
In other words,
land court clear it.
the idea of, I don't understand how you can have a situation where you withhold the lot release, but you had already, you're trying to withhold a lot release on lot 14, but you already approved a document that basically releases the surety on the entire project.
Was that the entire amount? Was that all of it?
Yeah, he took all the money and he was supposed to fix the drainage.
Yeah.
And he never
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
And the lot was never released until he fixes the drainage.
But as far as I know, the two pods are there.
That's,
Go look at it, they're not there.
They're buried underground.
No, they're not. And what are the pods?
Pods are like,
There's supposed to be a drainage pod according to the court order.
It'd be like chambers.
yeah. They're
But they were never installed.
well, we had
They're installed there.
people come to
Because
us at meetings
If
when
they
I was
were
on the
installed, He
board.
would have to go back to court and say he
excuse me,
installed it.
let Mr. Horn finish his point.
When I was on the board, we had contractors come to our meetings and tell us exactly what they did there. And that's why we agreed to release everything, because it was done.
What did they do
With the
then?
exception of the easement. I don't know
Well, I
why,
heard
I
it.
can't tell you why you didn't do the easement, but
Because
are we sure the
where did
easement's not
I guess
in
the
the?
question
No,
is,
it-
where does the drainage go?
Into the
You're saying the
sewage.
pods? If anything, it goes into the sewage because they didn't have an easement from the Shenakis, and that's where the drainage would go.
There's a little brook or river that runs through that
Right, and
property.
they need an easement
Well,
from
there was.
Shenakis according to this court order.
So I think the problem is,
No, the easement was to make the pods part of the,
No,
part
they
of
need-
the subdivision plan.
Right. Conrad was trespassed in 1998. There it is. This is the court order. I highlighted it for you on the second page. He's court ordered to either get an easement from Shenaki and do what you saying that or tie into the sewer.
You need
or
to
not
show
sewer,
the civil engineer
Drainage?
that the pods were there.
but- yeah, there's no plans
There's no
for the
plans,
pods.
there's nothing, and then he would take it back to court and get it released along with the easement rights.
The only reason he's building on that law is because the town told him that he owns that frontage. He doesn't. That's,
It wouldn't be up to the board to clarify if he put it in, he would have to show that was signed off, and then he would bring it to court.
I guess,
so if I understand the situation, we've got storm drains on Paula Lane
Don't go anywhere,
that go downhill
and that's it.
towards lot 14. Is that correct? Am I correct so far?
I don't know where they go.
Nobody
They don't
does.
tie into anything.
Well, it goes downhill. They go in that direction.
Right.
And your contention is that they pretty much dead end and go nowhere.
Yeah, they dead end and go
They
nowhere.
absolutely dead end.
Because they overfill because all the silt and crap in them. You can see them like Main Street over here.
Okay.
No, Main Street.
And
Yeah.
Don't like that.
the question that Mr. Horn has is, or actually, his contention is that they don't dead end, that they go into underground pods on that lot.
Right, which are like these water infiltration.
Like cisterns.
Systems that you
Yeah.
put in for like your drainage
no,
off your roof. People put them under their driveways and all the roof water comes off
Okay.
their roof.
But that's not what he was court ordered to do.
if
He was court ordered to to tie into Shenaki's drainage or build a retention pond.
Or pull the pond on that lot.
If I may,
But he may have mitigated, I understand he may not have done it the way that you say the court order says, but he may have mitigated the situation by putting in the underground pods.
if I may, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Horn, Mr. Warren, you mentioned that you had some information from someone indicating that Mr. Allen had done the.
I believe-
Is there documentation to that? I mean, we have a number of documents here dating back to 2004.
We would need to go back and probably get an old videotape from that meeting, because the gentleman that came in and explained it to us was the owner of Ramco Construction. He put the pods in.
Angela Evans?
Yeah.
All right, was it any documentation other than just?
It was at a regularly scheduled public meeting.
Okay.
Was there any as-built or anything present? No.
I don't remember that. I just remember him
Yeah, it
coming
was
in
just
and telling us what he
A verbal
did.
acknowledgement that that had been done.
It was done, yeah.
Okay.
And that would have been back from the 2004 timeframe, somewhere in there, I would imagine.
I think I would have felt a little better if there was something in paper.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
Showing
think
what
that-
was done.
A document, if you will.
I
of
think they
sorts.
would have had a piece of, I think some engineer someplace would have designed something and gave them a piece of paper so they know what to build in the ground.
Right. So that must have, we think that something like that must have existed at some point.
Right.
And
It's not in the
we don't
file.
have that available to us.
I know you did extensive research on this. Did you find any minutes for any of those meetings?
I gotta look for minutes.
Okay,
It was
because
all-
I asked Braden to include the minutes, and he said that all the minutes for that,
That's in cursive.
I haven't seen any minutes from the 2002 to like 2007 timeframe. There's nothing.
I know where they are.
Yeah, they're in the trash.
It's
Yeah,
videotaped.
They're in a 3-foot folder in
I'd have to check to see if they-
Eagle Drive one. The subdivision folder.
the minutes for
There's
those
like,
meetings are
there's like
actually in
3
the...
binders, probably like this high. I went through it before I was on the board,
Okay.
2020.
So the minutes,
Could be in there.
It could be, but I've seen a lot of,
Do
Paul
they
Lane
still have the
stuff in there.
videotape collection from back then?
I'd have to check. I haven't really dove into that yet.
Because it used to be, Teddy Barron used to take care of that.
Yeah.
If you needed a videotape, he'd make you a copy and you'd give him the $2 or
I
whatever.
know, but Bill Scanlon and I had a discussion when he was here, because he wanted to throw out all of those VHS cassettes, because he said, what the hell, you know, what do we need these for?
But that's all we had.
And I was trying to make the point, I said, Bill, so it's not like can't find room for it, we could just leave them here, you know.
So we have retained those?
I believe so, I
Okay.
believe they're still there.
We can always send those out and get them digitally made.
We
Put
could.
them on the internet, or put them back in the,
And we might even luck out, that might even be, those meetings might even be on disc, because there's meetings on disc in there too.
oh, yeah.
So, well, what, that would be 2000s?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is-
I'll look
DVDs
tomorrow.
were hot then, I think.
Tomorrow morning I'll be looking.
Yeah, all right. So we can continue this to the next meeting. I don't think there's much more we can do right now.
Well, there's nothing really to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
The
that's
problem that I have is
Yeah.
that this guy's got a building permit in the process right now, and this lot hasn't been released. So he's circumventing this board to get his building permit.
Yeah, he already drilled the well and pumping out
I
his well.
think he had the well in
Oh,
2005.
I seen him pumping the well out.
You drilled the well back in 2005?
That's when the permit was.
Okay, so, but I mean, as far as right now, his building permit must be stalled.
Yeah, it's stuck. I think Burlingame said it was at Board of Health right now, so
Okay,
at the well, I guess.
all right.
But it shouldn't be in there at all.
I know, but what action can the board take to stop that process when it's not under our jurisdiction?
The lot release is under our jurisdiction.
True, but there's a discrepancy between, Mr. Horn believes that it is mitigated by the pods being there. Your
Well,
contention is that, your contention is
The Warren also
that they're not
believed
there.
that my vote didn't count. So,
Well, to be fair, the only way we would know for sure is if we were able to send an engineer out to
Right.
look at it. And the problem is, then the question becomes, who pays for that?
Yeah, the money's already gone.
Right, I mean, like, I think you got this letter from 2004, which was signed by Mr. Reich at the time, clearly states they're giving back the applicant the $18,020.82. I'll be submitting this to the accountant on Monday, December 13th, 2004. Also, at last night's planning board meeting, the planning board requested that you put in place a drainage easement for the 2 pods located on lot number 14 at the corner of Paul Lane and Fairview Ave. After the completion of this drainage easement, the planning board will release lot number 14 from the covenant. So if he's got a building permit, that must mean that lot 14 is released from the covenant.
It's in 2010. No, there's another.
Read it again. When he puts
Right.
it in.
We don't have
Well, no,
documentation
actually,
that-
actually, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. He just read it. I'm gonna reread what he just wrote. Also, at last night's meeting, the planning board requested that you put in place a drainage easement for the two pods located. What this sentence says.
They're already
is that the-
located. They're there.
The pods that are already there, and all they want is they want an easement.
So that the town has access to get
Where's
to
the
it.
easement?
So it would be an easement
Okay,
from,
in 2010.
When he put it in the ground.
Did you check the registry of deeds to see if there was an
Yes.
easement?
I've got- I've
and we're
checked
not
the
talking about an
registry of
easement to the
20
Janeski
days.
family to
Yeah,
tie in. We're talking about an easement
that.
on the lot.
On that lot.
Right, right.
Now,
Right. But just because, devil's advocate here, just because we can't find the easement doesn't mean there wasn't one, because we can't even find the minutes for that hole.
Or if
This-
the work was even done, is another question.
Well, to Mr. Horn's point,
I-
it does say the two pods located. It doesn't say the two pods to be located.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
it
we-
would have a problem.
It assumes
Get
their
a
existence
camera.
at this point.
We
At that point.
already had multiple meetings, and like I said, the last meeting we had was the owner of Ramco Construction coming to the meeting and explaining to us exactly what was done on the lot.
Yeah, but I remember the owner of Ramco Construction coming to you in 2018 for Tobin Farms, saying that they went up there and finished all the paving, and there's paving on this betterment for them. Just because someone says they did something
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's
and
done. Do we have
Ramco told me
paperwork?
there's no
That's what I'm
wetland
asking
on
for.
there.
If we
I
don't
mean,
have
he-
paperwork, we have no lot release. We have a 2010 email from Gary Brackett to Conrad Allen saying that you still have to oblige by the covenant, and this is 2010.
That was because he.
6 years.
That was
Because he was-
because he decided not to
stopped.
plow the roads.
But he's still
I don't-
connected to the covenant.
I don't think he ever took the roads
Tobin
back.
Farms isn't relevant, I don't think, in this
Oh.
case.
Mr. Clark, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Well, it looks like, I've been reading this, okay, the assumption apparently in 2004 was that the pods had been in place, but the question then comes down to whether and if there is any kind of an easement. And I think Mr. Durgan's contention is that none existed, and that seems to be supported somewhat by this
Well,
2010 document.
Well, his first
from the
contention
attorney.
is that the pods aren't there.
Well,
And then,
yeah, I think we moved past that one
Right.
just a bit.
Pods physically.
well, you're not conceding the
You
pods are
can't
there.
physically see them.
All right,
He
okay.
he dug
So-
it up a foot down, so.
So, no, just to
Be
be
able to
clear,
see
to keep
something.
things clear. They're not convinced the pods exist at all.
All right.
And if the pods do exist,
So the only way we could confirm that the pods existed, we'd have to have an engineer take a look.
Even if the pods exist, they obviously don't work because there's a big
Well,
puddle at the bottom of the
I
road
think
every
there's
time it
two issues
rains.
here. Whether the pods exist, then the whole thing fails at that point. But then if the pods do exist, there's still a question of the easement.
Well, there's still the question of the lot being released, which
Right.
still haven't
And
done.
after the completion of this drainage easement, the planning board will release the lot. So
Right.
if there is no easement, then the release of the lot, according to this, would not take place.
Right.
all right, let me just take a moment here and ask, is anybody in the back row there here for Paula Lane?
No.
I just want to make sure in case we had somebody else who had.
Yeah, another piece of fire.
Certificate of completion and release of subdivision interest and subdivision performance
Put
security.
the camera
Yeah.
down.
And see, that releases
2004.
the whole thing.
Yeah, October 2004, and then we gave him a letter in December of 2000.
Right.
But in 2010, you said that the planning board has not accepted the as-built or the other thing that he was supposed to do. And you're still bound by the covenant until,
What was that, 2010, say that again?
it was an email from Nancy Runkel. I thought it was part of the packet, no?
It is in your binder.
It
It
in
is?
the binder.
Okay.
I didn't find it, I didn't see it in my binder.
2010, all right, something from Greenwald Attorneys at Law,
That's,
that's to Mrs. Rumpel.
yeah, that's the other. that's-
I don't have it either, I just have the copy that you get that Mr. Durgan gave.
2004, 1997, Form J from 1999.
Yeah, if it wasn't with that packet of second page there, then it's not in there.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I'm reading this letter, Mr. Durgan, and what it's talking about is his lack of plowing and sanding the roads.
Right, but it's also stating that he's part of the covenant. He's still bound by the covenant.
But I don't think this letter forced him to start plowing and sanding the roads, right? He's still never done it.
I don't even understand how it could be bound by the covenant once the release was.
That was the letter from our lawyer, our town council sent that to him.
But I think it was like a last-ditch effort to get him to go back to sanding and plowing the roads, which he never, as far as I know, he's never done.
Yeah, because he petitioned the town to do it.
And so who's been doing it since
But
2000?
he's still bound by the covenant, is what the lawyer's saying. So that's what town council was stating, is he's still bound by the covenant. This lot has not been released.
But the town hasn't taken any more action since 2011, other than plowing the road for him.
Exactly, you haven't released the lot.
I don't have that.
This shouldn't be going through the building permit process. He hasn't been.
But
it hasn't
but there's
been released.
documentation here from 2004 that we did release the covenant.
No, there's not. They're stating that you will release upon getting this
No,
documentation.
there's this Form J right here that's all signed off by the planning board from October 27th, 2004. It says certificate of completion and release of municipal interest in subdivision performance
Yes.
security.
They released the lot that night. You guys released the lot that night on the condition that he would provide this easement. He never came back and gave you the easement. He took your signatures and bounced.
Okay.
It's not the first time, not the last time. We all know that. Regardless of the point, there's no lot release, and that's your job. That's this board's job, is to release the lot.
Well,
He's not coming for anything, so I don't even care.
I mean, if the building inspector already gave him a building permit, I don't think
He
there's much
didn't
we
give
can
him a
do.
building permit, that's what I'm saying. He's holding off on it.
He didn't give him a building.
No, he's waiting for town council to weigh in on it too. He can't, it's not even at him right now. He has to wait for, Board of Health. I don't know who's after Board of Health, but I know sewer signed off on it, because remember, he was going for the sewer connection.
There's sewers up there,
No, there's a moratorium, he can't get it.
so he has to have a septic system.
No, he can't have a septic system because the lot's not big enough. He has to have sewer, but I think that's what's stalling it out. I think he recognizes that he's not getting not sneaking it through the moratorium, because that's where the big problem is, right in front of his house,
That's the way I would.
or right in front of the lot.
I thought the big problem was at Marty's Liquor Store.
Well, yeah, that's
All right,
part of the
I'd like to
problem.
move on.
Yeah.
Do you want this, man?
No, that was. Actually.
Before I move on, I'd like to ask, do we want to keep Fallen Lane Circle Drive on the agenda for next month? Do you want to revisit it,
Well,
or?
if he's going for a building permit.
All right, we'll
leave
keep it on,
Unless he withdraws the building permit altogether.
okay. Or if if someone finds new information that comes to light that sheds more, yeah, right, okay. Okay, all right, next item on the standard business is Sophie's Way. We received a request for a continuance, so we won't be addressing that this evening. Inspections and actions associated with site plans. Legacy Landing Country Club Acres. I see we have some gentlemen here, our favorite subject. Dog paths. Well, whoever wants to.
We thought we'd all move up. These are all board members, and we'd like to just...
Sure, come on up.
Come on up.
If you don't
There we go.
mind signing in, that's
This is
all.
nice, we even got a cozy room for you.
Not cozy, but cold. So we could have just barely kept them in their seats. It wasn't too far of a move.
I'm sorry.
So we could have just kept them in their seats, so 10 feet.
Well, the microphone's
Yeah,
there and
sure.
they're recording.
Sign in, gentlemen, if you would, please.
Off to the side on this one.
All right, gentlemen. I know you're all signing in, but you can just state your name for the record again. I know, of course.
Yeah, I'm Mitch Bernard.
Mitch, you're a
Yeah.
frequent flyer now.
Yeah, I know it, huh?
John Sancherson?
John is our treasurer,
Okay,
okay,
Gervasi.
okay,
the board member.
gotcha.
How big's the board? 5.
5, yeah.
So you guys got a quorum.
Yeah, we'll have 2 minutes.
Okay. So I know it's been a month since we talked about this, and okay, Mr. Horn is rejoining us, so, no problem. All right. So my understanding is, there's still a sign up that the board, when we talked about this, the planning board met and talked about this with your president last month. We stipulated which signs needed to come down for the change. And my understanding is there's still a sign up, going by memory here. I think it's the, rating, is it the dog one?
I believe it's the non-resident dog one.
Non-resident dogs on the public walkway. So, Mr. Clark,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I believe I sent a photo of the sign as it exists now to the members of the board. It says private community, speed limit 15 miles per hour, non-resident dogs not allowed. Though the part that was no trespassing is taped over that, no longer appears or visible on the sign.
okay,
I hope that that photo
it's
is
taped over?
taped over.
So if I went up there, if I was not very honest,
I thought the same thing.
a month later, I could go over there, I could just tear that tape off and I'm back in business and banning people from being.
Well, number one, we just wanted to cover it up, and if you liked it, we would put a more
Oh,
permanent
okay, all right. I like
patch
that.
over it right now.
Good answer.
I thought the same thing, you,
Yeah.
one of those neighbors just told the person on,
Right,
went back
right.
to square one.
So the only part, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I think the only part we still have a problem with would be the non-resident dogs being banned from.
Well, we went back and we did see counsel on just trying to make sure we understood where we think our rights are.
Okay,
And council prepared first of all, everything I'm going to talk about, I have a copy for you folks.
Okay, good.
So we're not going to read it, I'll give it all to you and you can digest it. You may want to talk to your council as well, but
well, I'm sure we will.
I'm sure you will. But what the conclusion that she's suggesting is that it appears that our documents registered with the state of Massachusetts, our deed and trust are the governing documents for the condominium. And that is what you came up with after review.
So if I understand your attorney's position is to hell with there being a stipulation when the builder built this thing, this development, saying that he would ensure that there was public access to the walkway.
I'm not going to try and interpret the argument
That's what it
off of
sounds
2
like,
pages
doesn't it?
worth of, but she's basicly is saying that
She's throwing that out the
the
window.
evidence she's had
Okay,
is there.
all right. So, you have copies for,
Well, I was going to give you that. Yeah, this is just one of the items. but-
I want to see your attorney's letter.
Oh, okay. Thanks, John.
Pretend like I understand anything she wrote. Do you have more copies or just the one?
No, I just the one, sir.
Okay.
Can send them out.
Well, without objection, I'll read it into the record.
The whole thing? All right, I guess.
All right, this is from Marcus, Erico, Emmer, and Brooks, PC Attorneys at Law. This is to the Dudley Planning Board regarding the proposed walking trails at the Country Club Acres condominium. Dear board members, this firm and the undersigned represent the trustees of the Country Club Condominium Trust, as they are the duly elected appointed members of the Country Club Acres Condominium, an age-restricted 22-unit development located in Dudley, Massachusetts. By way of relevant background, on or about December 21st, 2018, the Dudley Planning Board granted a special permit decision to Legacy Landing LLC, the applicant, to construct 22 units on 2 separate parcels of land owned by James and Linda Ruda, parcel 1, and by Ruda Realty, parcel 2, respectively. Through said special permit decision, the planning board observed that, quote, "It is noted that the applicant wishes to allow the public to use the walking trail on site, subject to appropriate documentation to be approved along with the definitive plan. A gravel surface parking area containing 2 spaces for users of this trail and also for overflow parking by visitors will be shown on the definitive plan and will be subject to a condition of approval of that plan." Subsequently, on or about March 17, 2021, James and Linda Ruda conveyed parcel 1 to Legacy Landing LLC, and parcel 2 was conveyed to Legacy Landing LLC by Ruda Realty Incorporated through a deed dated June 17, 2021. Therefore, Legacy Landing LLC conveyed both parcels 1 and 2 to Country Club Acres LLC for the sum of $500,000, and the land and the buildings thereon were ultimately submitted to the Country Club Acres condominium on or about January 27, 2023, upon the recording of the condominium's master deed. Exhibit A to the condominium's master deed makes reference to a number of, quote, outstanding title matters, unquote, among which included, without limitation, a right-of-way and utility easement as reflected on the enclosed plan dated March 22nd, 1989, easement agreements to and reserved by the Roman Catholic Bishop of Worcester, and the special permit decision. Although the special permit decision mentions a desire or wish on the part of the applicant to permit public access to a walking trail with the condominium, there is nothing contained within the special permit decision to suggest that such wish was shared by the owners of parcels 1 and 2. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna stop there because I see where this is going. And none of this takes into account that this is an open space development. I don't see the word open space development in here anywhere. And as Mr. Horn, I believe, at the last meeting so eloquently explained, where you live right now isn't even built, and it's never even constructed and approved if it wasn't for the fact that the developer made a bargain with the planning board that he was going to reserve part of that parcel as open space for use by the public. Then he decided that he would do a walking trail because he believed it would benefit both the public and the residents there. So that's what my contention is, and that's what, when we forward this to town council, which I believe we're gonna agree to do, right? Yeah, when we send this to town council, that's gonna be our position, that she's not taking into account that we made, not we, the planning board, whatever the makeup of the planning board was back then, those individuals struck a deal with the developer allowing him to build extra units that he wouldn't normally have been able to even build, in exchange for keeping part of that development as open space usable by the public.
And he was the one that made the decision, like Mr. He was the one that made the decision to go with the walking trail, just like he said. Because he could have done a playground, he could have did a soccer field, he could have did whatever he wanted.
He could have left it vacant land, undisturbed.
He could have.
I'm not trying to dispute anything you're saying,
Okay.
but is this memorialized anywhere?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, in the decision.
It's in the definitive plan for us to approve it. Because I think without that, he would have been down to like somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 to 20 units, and he ended up.
I'm just trying to understand how all this works.
Yeah, he got a density bonus for doing the trail.
It seemed in my reading of the documents, and I am not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination, that the planning board had the right to review the documents before they went to the registry of deeds. Now, I have no idea whether the developer provided them to the board, talked to the board about them, or what happened in that period of time, if you will.
At that time, probably would have been the town planner who reviewed all of
The whole board reviewed it.
Well, it's
that.
not,
Oh, yeah, no, but I mean,
it's not in the planning board's purview what you have in your condo documents as far as
Oh, you're talking about
your
the
rules and
master deed?
regulate.
The master deed and declaration
Right.
of trust.
Yeah.
If the developer made this agreement with the board, and I'm not disputing whether he did or he didn't, but why wasn't it recorded in one of those two documents?
in other words,
So it's memorialized?
you're saying that because it's not present in the master deed, that we should have made sure it was present in the master deed.
It's,
Well,
But
if that-
we, our contention back then, I wasn't on the board back then, but I'm assuming, can make this assumption, probably we had the right to just, that it was assumed that that was the case because it was in the decision, it was in the approval.
I don't know. I'm just posing a question, trying to figure out.
right.
how
I
to
don't,
go
I
from
don't think it
square A to
has,
square
I
B.
don't think it has to be in the master deed for you guys. I think it's, for us, it's in the approval of the subdivision plan.
Well, the developer put some language in, I think it's in the declaration of trust, which is referenced in that letter there about having to Cory check people who are going to come on the property and all of that. So the developer had to have some inkling of what he was putting in there and why that language was chosen.
So I didn't read the whole thing, but like, here's a paragraph. She says, moreover, the reference to a singular walking trail within the special permit decision is vague and ambiguous, as it would suggest that any right of public access, if later granted, would be limited in scope and location. It would not include all of the walking trails, plural, within the condominium. I'm gonna stop right here and just say, you're not an attorney, none of us are attorneys. So I think what we're gonna have to do is, we're gonna have to submit this to our town council,
We figured you would.
yeah, and let the attorneys
Yeah, I think they
figure it out. Because if you're right, if your attorney's right, you're basically making the argument that that whole trail, doesn't matter what size dog you have or what. If you don't live there, get the hell out. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Tell me I'm wrong.
no, we weren't even, when we asked the attorney the question, we didn't even mention to her about the dogs.
Well, she went all the way.
Dogs never came
Yeah.
into our conversation.
This goes all the way. This is like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit them with, they don't have any rights at all here, Town of Dudley. That's what I see here.
Yeah, so I think if we go back to the definitive plan, the approval for that subdivision, that's where it's gonna be in there. It's gonna be in the conditions of approval that,
Well, she didn't run across that, find that, look into that, so if that indeed exists,
I'll
that
let
is
you
something
find it. And
that we, once we see it and we understand it,
we don't happen to have that with
At this
us,
point.
right?
I don't have it on me. I know it's in,
Yeah,
Is it in the register of deeds?
yes, I've seen it on their website.
okay. So your attorney should have had access to that, just looking it up on the registry of deeds.
Am I wrong in assuming when they made the deal with the builder, that was supposed to be approved, and once it was done, the planning board was supposed to, okay, inspect it and say it's done? Are there any documents showing that the planning board gave them permission to do that? Once completed, the planning board has to go back and sign and say it's done.
Right, that would be our.
Peer review engineer.
Right, we have an engineer that's on staff that is a consultant town engineer, and basically the developer's funds that he gives to the planning board that we hold in escrow, we would set, when this is all completed, when the developer calls us and tells us that he's done, we will send our engineer out and he will go through all the checklists to make sure that everything that we had on the definitive plan that we agreed to with the developer is done and complete. And if he only put in half the trail, we would get a report back from our engineer saying only half the trail exists.
Remember a few months ago, you had concerns about some other things that hadn't been
oh
done yet?
yeah, we're gonna get it, that's
Yep.
our
Okay,
next
right,
topic.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. We haven't had that final review done yet.
The reason is, did we get into excuse me, did we get into the discussion with you at our last meeting as to the reason why this is probably going to linger for quite some time? Because the state of Massachusetts has granted all developers a 2-year extension?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a lead into our next section.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable, let's move on to that then. We'll
You have that, you're gonna dig
Yep.
into it. We'll all learn something from this one.
We'll make a motion and write.
Yep.
So you want to do that now and then move on to the next thing? Okay.
Sure.
So the chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we submit the letter from Legacy, is it Legacy Landing?
It's from the condo association.
From the condo association at Country Club Acres, that we submit it to our town council for review, and
And that we have a question of whether or not they can bar the public from using,
from using the trail with dogs. Yep,
It was supposed to be open space.
right.
it's supposed to be open space, exactly.
Well, it does say 55 plus, and it goes further in our documents to say they have to submit a proof of age and a Cory check.
But
That's to live in your condos.
That's to live in your condos.
No, that's for the walking trail.
No,
Yeah, it's for the walking trail.
Walking trail is public.
I understand that, but the way it's written, I think it conflicts with the idea of people coming on the walking trail.
Was this written, was this
You have
written
to be
after?
55 to be in the community to begin with.
Did you guys
To
write
live
this
there.
after you guys formed the, did you write this after you formed your board?
He's
No.
saying that there's paperwork somewhere that says you have to be 55 or older to walk on the public trail. That's what he's
Well, they
saying.
can do it for you.
No,
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah. No, we're gonna let the attorneys handle that.
Let them handle it.
What do you got now? Next.
All right. So I'm going to go back. The completion bond, was based on, was analyzed by Graves Engineering based on the condition at the time that was put together. And,
Mitch, I'm just gonna interrupt you real quick, I'm sorry.
yes,
Braden, what do you need?
You didn't finish the motion.
second,
Oh,
second. I got that. I got
Okay.
second.
all right, so we had a motion to send the letter to the attorney. Who seconded it?
Me.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, so you got 4 and 1 abstain.
Please continue, sorry.
Okay.
I apologize, that was my,
that's all right. So the existing bond for $494,000 was actually developed by Graves Engineering based on their review at that point in time. And that was a cost estimate done on the 8th of November 2021, prepared by Graves. So that's how that got developed. Just for your information, the builder, on September the 12th of this year, they did what they thought was the last task they had to do for the community, which was basically to seal coat and fix any cracks in all the driveways. And that was his last actual piece of work to be done, and he considers himself finished. We're just surprised that he hasn't come in and notified you that. And I think the state mass law of extending the builder's time frame on the permit is what, you're just waiting for the permit to run out and the bond to die on the vine. So anyway, that's how that was developed. The second thing is, in Graves Engineering estimate letter to you, they basically identified it based on 2 drawings, and I have them here with me. One of them was done on March 17th, 2021, and the other one May 26th, 2021 by J.M. Grenier Associates. So I just wanted to open those up and just so visually, we're not just reading words. Okay. The earlier one on March 17 was actually, if you can somehow see it, shows all of the units. Shows all of the units, shows all of the signage, shows how the water retention, the detention pond, and that's what that one covers. And the one following it was actually the grading and drainage plan. Same plan is on here. And that basically showed the fact that there were a number of catch basins, collecting the water, and going underground to a detention pond. It also indicated that the entire site beyond that was supposed to be a gravity feed to these detention ponds. And then finally, I show this one. Only because it does highlight the signage that was included on this drawing in colors. You all have this to take a look at it in detail, but
So, are you basically telling us that this sign's missing? Is that what this is? all about?
absolutely no signs were
No
done,
signs are put up.
and he
Okay.
refuses to do that. So, during the course of this, since he built the site, we went through a winter, and we've identified a series of problems on this drawing, which is all in color. Most all of this is basically either signage or it's how the water is ponding on our property. It is not flowing the way the plans show that, and I've indicated on color, and then the document I'm going to hand you will also have photographs of each of these areas, so you can actually see what it looked like during the severe weather, and the pond wasn't doing its job. So that is really something we've been waiting for the opportunity to present to you, because we're hoping that when Graves goes through, we have the opportunity to join them in that walkthrough. And as a minimum, certainly they ought to see all of this and see our write-up. We did go through all of the planning board regulations and highlighted areas where we think there were things just done inappropriately.
So I have a question. I'm going to ask Mr. Clark, only because he doesn't live in there. So he's a little, I'm going to call your opinion unbiased.
Oh, okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Fair enough?
He's got a call.
So, Mr. Clark, when would you say was the last time you saw anybody doing any work up there?
Oh, it's been months.
In months?
Yeah.
Okay. You gentlemen would agree?
Yes?
Okay.
I'd like to.
And I
Can say
believe they
one thing?
mentioned the driveways, and I believe that's probably the last thing that was done.
Okay.
The one thing prior to that probably was the change in the light poles for those hideous looking.
And I know it's important to you, but I honestly don't care about the driveways because that's outside the purview of the plan.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the road and the drainage that we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about. Sir, you just asked me.
At the March 12th meeting, discussion was, a lengthy discussion. Guy Holm stated that the permit extended to June. If the builder goes past that date and work is not completed, the board could finish the project at the builder's expense.
That was before we talked about the extension.
Okay, that's one point. The next point in question was when Mitch mentioned to Jim Haynes about the signs. He says, I don't do signs, all right? Well, you made the comment that you stated that in the final inspection, Graves engineer would inspect according to what? On the site plan, Mitch stated that the builder said he never does signs. Mr. Ward, I don't know if I pronounced your name right, yeah, said at that point, the board would inform the builder that he has to put the signs up and would insist that they are done and be installed. We don't have any responsibility, from what I understand, of putting any signs up. The signs that are on the
Except for those
blueprints-
anti-dog signs.
Yeah, well, we put the dog signs in for 2 reasons. We don't mind, we
Yeah.
have all elderly people. in
Well, look,
our
I'm sorry, I
community.
shouldn't have made that correct, because now we're revisiting something I don't want to go back to. So I'm going to stop you right there, because I'm going to make a suggestion. If the board agrees, we don't have to wait until this thing's done to send our engineer back out there and do a peer review, to do a,
Well, that's what I was just gonna ask.
since it's been months since anybody's,
Do we know what I mean, I know he has a bond, like, I think the last time you were here, you said he has the bond for how much was it?
494,000.
Okay. And then what do we have in the peer review account right now?
the surety account.
The surety account.
I'd have to check on that.
Okay, so what we're gonna,
He's got a big chunk of change sitting in a.
no, I
Right.
understand, but we want to make sure there's money to pay grades, if we send grades out there now.
Well-
Off the top of my head, I don't believe it's over 10,000 in there. I think it's-
Oh, well, that's more than enough.
Yeah, I
Graves
mean,
do
to
a
send,
site visit.
for Graves to go out is like, yeah, $2,000 to $3,000 usually for a site visit.
I'll check on that for sure tomorrow. I have the paper in my office.
Okay. So,
What
what-
was
Can
it?
we just reach out to the developer and ask?
I was just gonna say, that's the alternative. We could just have Braden contact the developer and say, hey, we've got residents here that are concerned because you haven't put these signs up and they're concerned about drainage.
would you like us to send out the town engineer and do the final inspection?
Yeah. All right, so you got that, Braden?
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I would like to ask, or add to my motion, if it's agreeable to the other people that voted, when we send that letter to town council for review,
Mhm.
could we also ask town council to take a look at the bond for this project to make sure that that's not going to expire before his extension expires from the state of Massachusetts? Because if that does happen, we would all look like fools. So let's have the town council review that bond to make sure that we're going to be in good standing so that, nobody gets left holding the bag here.
Second.
I mean, we really are
Okay,
hoping
one
that,
moment, Mitch.
Yes,
So
I will.
We've got a motion and a second to add, to basically amend
Yep.
the original motion, that we're gonna also have town council check on the status of the bond and when it expires.
And if it could expire before
And if
his,
there's a potential for it to expire before
he finishes.
he finishes. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
All right,
Yeah.
4.
Because that would be my worry, when you just said that, he may just wait for it all to expire and then walk away from it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had actual cash up from that guy.
It's a bond, but I mean, like, you gotta go claim the bond, and it's, it's a process, so.
Yeah, we have to wait until that extension is up too.
Right, but I mean, like, I would definitely, if the bond's gonna expire before the extension is up, we gotta go after the builder to get a new bond that goes past the extension. And if he doesn't wanna provide that, then we gotta have the work done now while the bond's still in play and have him pay for it out of the bond. Right?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of convey the issues, so that's why I colored up a drawing just to show you the areas. A lot of erosion on the dust trail, a lot of houses along the east side, probably about 5 houses. The slopes of water actually backs right up to their bulkhead or door.
I'm also not sure why he's not putting that fence up.
I mean, just-
I remember that fence being on there.
And he was supposed to do some landscaping that's not done either.
Yeah, that's so,
I don't think
And actually,
he's finished the end of the par 5 lane either.
Oh,
It just
no.
goes off into.
Right, that was my other thing, because I think,
Yeah.
on the plans that you have there, does it show a cul-de-sac at the end of that?
no, doesn't.
I could have sworn
I read
when
about
I
it, but
signed
I
off
never
on the
saw it.
approval that there was a
Let's put it that way,
cul-de-sac
yeah.
there.
There was a choice, a gated community, a couple of different things.
Because like, how do you expect something to turn around?
Well, they don't, it goes all the way through.
No, this lane
No.
right here, there was supposed
Yeah.
to be a cul-de-sac here, from what I remember.
No. There's actually supposed to be this detention. What did they call it? I wrote it up. Right over here, it doesn't show on that drawing. It shows on,
Where you're saying
it shows on the
cul-de-sac,
it shows on the first one. This is what's supposed to be at the end of the road, if you can read it, yeah. Is that the pipe and stone water detention. It takes this, buried pipes, water comes here, goes underground, goes into the wetlands.
Yeah,
It
it
was
predates
mentioned.
me, so I can't tell you.
Yeah,
I mean, on the plans that I remember looking at, there was always a cul-de-sac there.
really, well, this is
Well,
what they
that's
gave
never
us.
been finished, that's what I'm just right.
But see on every one of these plans, the title, open space residential.
You weren't on the board for that?
development,
Yeah.
No.
I thought it was like 2020.
That was-
That,
By then, it was pretty much already all of the definitive and all of that.
Is that all you mean?
Yeah, it was just like.
We'll have to dig up the ones that we
so
have.
you can take,
When
you
they
can
were
take
working
that.
out all the details of how to actually,
Yeah, it's like during COVID,
And
I
in,
remember.
and here we basically articulate our review of the documents, what wasn't done the way it's supposed to be done. And then we included photographs of most all of the areas that I've shown on blue where there's water collection.
all right, so you can give that to our clerk.
Yes.
And then if we get to the point where we end up sending the engineer out,
Right.
we can divide
Well,
that.
Our hope is that the Graves will go through it and say, well, here's how you solve that problem, and they describe a solution, and that way we can have a package to go out and bid and get some numbers and get it done right. That's kind of
Or
what we're
the
thinking.
developer has to come back and do it himself. I mean, you have to give the developer the first choice
He has, yeah, he has the opportunity to do that.
to make the corrections. Right.
I've seen the work.
So we're gonna make the official request that the developer address these issues,
Mhm.
and then, right. But
Is
we've
there
been
a
waiting.
time period?
What's that?
Is there a time period in when he has to do this? Because he ignores anything that we've asked.
It's basically the state of Massachusetts gave all developers, what, was it an extension for 2 years or 3 years?
Just so you know, everything that I'm showing you here is actually was provided to him in writing
Right.
during the course of construction.
So that's my point, is that it's like, I understand he's got this extension, but if it's been several months since he's done anything there, I think we're within our rights to expect something to be done.
Wasn't it
Because
said?
pretty soon we're gonna get into bad weather, and then the excuse is gonna be, well, we can't do it now because of the weather.
Well, he's probably already past that right now. I mean, we're in November.
I'll tell you what, you can hang some signs in this weather.
At the March 12th meeting, when people said that his permit, his extension was good till the end of June. That was this past 25, it's done. He didn't complete the work, so his permit is, in my estimation, is null.
No,
No,
the
that-
state of Massachusetts gave all ongoing development a 2 to 3 year extension
I think
because of
what
economics.
you're reading is that that's the first part of the discussion, but then I think at that point, our planner, I think, was the one who pointed out to
Yeah.
us, no, that there is an
Our
extension.
our temporary planner.
Yeah, Eve Dapper, I
Yeah,
think, told us that, oh, well, hold on a second, guys.
yeah.
Actually,
And that's why
Might have
we,
been a later meeting, too.
and that's why we weren't getting any,
this would have been,
we weren't getting any responses from Lions Estates either.
right.
Well, in the bond, it even says, claims against, things not done right can be done for a year after the end of the permit. So we're still well within our window there.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, so
is that it for,
that was it. I just
Okay,
wanted to
no.
share all this.
thank you.
The next point we discussed was the walk and pack and the sign that says on residential dogs not allowed.
Yeah, well, you might not have to take your sign down if your attorney's right, we got no jam business in there.
So.
Oh, here, this goes,
So we might as well wait.
Okay, so the sign stays.
Keep your anti-dog sign up for now, until we get word from our attorney, and if our attorney says we're good to go, then we're gonna,
But you know,
Gotta
we're
go out there with some
not
bats and
trying,
beat
we're
your
not
sign
trying
down.
to be rude to any of the local residents.
I
The
understand.
idea is we have dogs that are 10, 12, 14 pounds. One woman walks through there with 2 German Shepherds that are probably 80 pounds. She can't hold them back to begin with. I mean,
okay, that's
we're an
okay.
85 community. We pay for everything, our own plowing, our own everything. We have to allow other residents that are 80, 55 or older to use the walking path. Doesn't say they gotta bring their dogs or a horse or anything else.
I guarantee you though, if we were to allow you to just close that down and not let people bring their dogs in there and walk on that public path, somebody who's using it now that doesn't live in there will probably come and complain to the town. Because we know for a fact that there are people, other people using it, that they don't want to, where it's out on Airport Road where it's not going to be safe because of how fast the cars come, they choose to rather walk on that, what they believe to be a public pathway in your condo development.
So if they want
you
to
throw
walk
those-
with
those
a
people out, they're gonna come.
Rottweiler or a pit bull or anything
Yeah.
like that, you're supposed to allow that.
Probably walk a Gila monster down there.
I mean, the problem is we don't know how, from a public standpoint, we don't know how you would police this, other than you guys watching it yourself. But I mean, like, if it's a public way and it's public property, or, you know, it's, the property's encompassed on your parcel of land for your condominium, but unfortunately, it was promised to the town to be a public way or a open space residential subdivision with open space walking trails for the public to use. And nobody ever thought about, you know, would the public bring a dog there, or would the, you know, if people go down there and ride mountain bikes, I mean, like, there's probably nothing you could do about that either. I don't know.
So if people bring their dogs down and they let the dogs go on the lawns
Well,
and
that's,
don't pick up after them. and-
oh, I thought you meant like if they let them loose. You
No,
can't.
no, not
you can't-
loose,
That's a
but they
leash law
just,
thing,
you know,
yeah.
I've seen many a time where a dog goes by, does his business, and the
Yeah.
owner just keeps walking on.
Keeps walking.
Yeah.
Get that a lot too.
I mean, that happens on public streets every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Yeah, except where they're letting their dog go is not on a public street, it's on our lawn.
It's in your backyard.
You know,
I understand that
Yep,
the trail was meant to be a public way,
yep,
but not necessarily our lawns that abut the trail.
right.
You know, from our point, the builder was willing to say anything to get the permits to put the 2 extra houses in. Well, he's not there anymore, now we're stuck with that. There's gotta be some legality that protects us. We don't mind if a person walks on a walking trail with a small dog on a leash or a little grandchild or something, but to just say anybody can come in here, it's public, I don't think that's fair to our community.
I understand your position, but unfortunately, I think what we're gonna end up with here is that it's gonna be an all or nothing. You know what I mean? It's gonna be either your attorney prevails with their argument, and it's no longer a public pathway for anybody.
Hopefully
Or-
somewhere in between there can be a compromise somehow. I don't know what it is.
I thought we had a compromise, gentlemen. Well, let me make this clear. I thought we had a compromise when Mitch was here last time, when we talked about what signs we specifically said we wanted taken down. And now, literally, because you didn't want to take down a sign that says no large dogs allowed, you went and got an attorney, and you're telling us that, hey, or through your attorney saying, hey, you know what, your whole public walkway thing, that's a load of malarkey. That's the way I read that.
We did not go to our attorney because of the dogs.
Well,
We
but
never
that's what
had
she
any.
wrote in there. You know, maybe she's thinking, you know, hey, we want an inch, let's ask for a foot. I don't know what the strategy is here.
I'll
but
tell you
now
what worries
it's-
me more than that.
Yeah,
You have some little kids who come over from the church,
yeah.
and they either walk down the street or they ride their bikes down the street.
Mhm.
And you got pickup trucks going from one road down to the other end of the road that just go flying through there. Those kids think they're safe on that street.
Yeah.
They're not.
That's why we put the walking trail.
But they're safer there than on Airport Road, wouldn't you
Oh,
agree?
no, I understand that, but the way that the traffic goes through there sometimes, no child is safe on that street.
That was basically why we put the 2 signs at each
Yeah.
entrance that said speed limit 15 miles an hour, because while the construction was
Right.
being done on Airport Road, we were subject to everything coming through there, all right?
What we
It was
talked
busy.
about speed bumps, what was the reasoning behind why that couldn't happen?
You didn't want to plow over or
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, in one of the earlier renditions of your subdivision, it was proposed that there was gonna be a gate in the middle.
Yes, I've read that.
So half of the residents would have came in off of Dudley Hill Road, and the other half would have came in off of Airport Road. And then the people that lived there would have a remote that they could open the gate and they could drive through if they want to. The people who don't live there, it would basically be a dead end, so nobody would drive down there, so you would eliminate all the drive-through traffic. But there was a situation where they came up to, like, what do we do about the emergency vehicles? So they said, okay, well, we can do the emergency vehicles, we'll give them a remote and stuff like that. And they figured out a way around that, but then, I think somebody came back and said, like, what are you gonna do for the people that are on, like, getting an Amazon delivery or at FedEx? So, like, FedEx is gonna have to drive all the way around and come in the other side, or park his truck and run down and drop off a box, but,
So the residents at the time actually were against it.
yeah, I mean, but it's still something you could do if you want to, if you choose to. If you want to, not have through traffic in that subdivision, you could simply do that. You would just have to accommodate the excuse me, the emergency services,
Yeah.
which would be the fire, police, and the ambulance. And I mean, like,
I don't think anybody.
That's a pretty fancy gate system
Mhm.
for that, so.
yeah.
But it would solve your problem of people speeding through there. You know how you're saying that a lot of people go through there because they're just cutting through?
I don't know how they handle it with Amazon and UPS and all that.
Well, as long as they can get to it from one side or the other, I mean, they'd have access. They wouldn't have to have a remote. But I mean, like, they probably wouldn't be too happy, because they're gonna have to drive around to get to your house. If you got something heavy, they're not gonna carry it, they're gonna drive around. But if you got an envelope or a small package, they'll probably just run over and give it to you.
Okay.
We'll send that letter to the lawyers and we'll let you know.
Put up a couple dead end signs. No one will
So
know.
my original question is there a time period that this builder has to respond to what you're asking?
Oh, well, we're gonna send I would say
We could send-
hear something back by next meeting.
Yeah, if he doesn't reply to us, or if he just blows us off, then we could send him another letter and tell him.
On the March 12th meeting, when you said that you would...
I hate these recordings.
Yeah, you would send him a letter about the signs to the builder, that he had to put them up. He never responded to you, did he?
No, I don't believe he did.
Did you send him a notice that he had to put the signs up?
Okay, so I personally wouldn't do it. I would have instructed our clerk at the time.
And back in March, we had a temporary,
Yeah.
we had a
We had
temporary,
a real staffing problem.
yeah,
back then.
we still have no town planner,
So you don't
so.
know if he ever got that notice or... if he
Yeah,
ever
to be 100% honest, I can't guarantee that that letter actually even went out, even though we requested that it go out.
Because we're being asked about all these questions about signs. They relate everything to the builder and the developer. We're not responsible for the signs.
Yeah, no, I agree. And signs are
Signs, crosswalks.
signs are such little money compared to the cost of, everything else, so I mean,
Yeah.
that should be a simple thing to resolve, so.
Yeah, I mean, if he has to do regrading or some kind of different drainage
Totally
system.
ignored. He won't answer nothing. He does what he pleases.
Well, I guarantee you now, this gentleman right here is going to.
Braden, you're the man.
Yeah.
He'll send him a letter, and we'll see
Right.
what the reply is.
Yeah.
If we get no reply, the next thing we can do is, we can send out a letter and tell him we're gonna
Yeah.
use his bond money to fix the problems.
Try and get him on the phone first, though.
Yeah.
Might be something as simple as a phone call. Sure. Say, hey, what did you get up here? Start hanging some signs, and are you ready for us to send grades out? Did you get everything done?
For the final completion
Yeah.
inspection.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Now, you mentioned Graves one more time. Is that possible that we can join him, or you'd rather
Oh,
us
yeah.
not?
Yeah, sure, when he's up there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
We're at home.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, good.
You can show him all your concerns, and he can tell you if that's proper building techniques, or if you got, I mean, like, some of the things you have may not be a problem, but, from what I've
I
seen,
can envision
it looks like it's
solutions,
a
but
problem.
it's just sort of, we shouldn't be taking that responsibility.
Right.
That ought to go back to an engineer that says, problem here, here's the solution. Problem here, here's the solution.
Right.
You get a guy to bid it, take care of it, you're done.
Yep.
Then everything's fine.
Sure.
Okay,
All righty.
Thank you
All right,
very
well,
much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
pleasure to see you again.
for your time. No problem. Okay. Next on the inspection of actions associated with site plans, we have SEP Solar Oxford Ave. I guess we were going to talk about maybe trying to figure out if that's ready for.
I drove by there the other day, and I saw I don't know if it's at that driveway for SEP Solar, or if it's after it or before it, but it looked like somebody was clearing a house lot right over there.
Yeah, they,
Yeah, we
they,
approved an A&R.
yeah, that's
Okay,
an
okay.
old A&R that they hadn't built on. Now
Okay,
they're moving
okay.
to-
See the river.
It's right on the corner there.
Yeah, okay.
But as far as what's going on up there, I don't know.
Nobody knows.
So,
Could we have Braden send him an email and find out?
good
what's
to
going
me.
on?
I can do that.
There's Bob Bukowski on that one.
We can,
who's that?
Bob Bukowski, I think he's doing that one too.
What's
Okay.
Call Neil and see if he signed all the permits. The electrical inspector, if he already signed off on everything, we just don't know.
Oh yeah, ask Nelson first too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the, I was gonna
And
ask,
same thing with the Dudley landfill.
yeah, I was gonna ask about that one.
That must be up and running, I haven't seen it.
We're getting revenue from it.
I heard that there was a piece of equipment that was missing because it was it was made in China, and with all the tariffs, they couldn't get it imported.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
where'd you hear
For
that?
the Dudley landfill?
at the Dudley landfill, yeah.
Well, then where'd you hear
I
that?
heard it at the landfill.
All right, so backing up one, Stevens Mill, nothing new there. It looks like they've got the roof on. So they'll be buttoned up for winter, so I don't know if anything's gonna happen inside over the winter or not. You just mentioned the solar project at the landfill, we got nothing there. So that brings us to Dudley Housing Authority. So our homework assignment was for all of us to just individually take a ride up there and see if we were happy with what we saw, and if the general consensus of the board was that it's good to go.
I went up there, it looked okay to me. I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing that I saw was the retaining wall, which I don't think that's part of the project, but the
There's really not
retaining wall's a
much
little
going on
crooked,
there.
but other than that, I didn't see anything that's jumped out at me.
So I see no reason why we can't just scratch this off of our agenda altogether, because they're already under the assumption that.
It's complete.
It's good to go, and what we'll do is, Braden, you will notify Nelson Burlingame that as far as the Dudley Planning Board is concerned, the parking lot project at the Dudley Housing Authority is done. We don't need any further
Yeah.
site review or anything like that. So if he hasn't already done so, he can issue a certificate of compliance. And then you can scratch this off of our list, so it won't be
Mhm.
on in December.
So there's nothing for site plans that we have, like certificate of completions?
Couldn't find one.
Huh?
No.
I thought there would be something.
No.
Big
Well,
projects
we
like
got
that.
that weird email from the guy at the, I forget his name, the guy who runs the,
Commissioner of Housing?
yeah,
Yeah.
or whatever, saying that, you know, as far as they're concerned, it's done. But that's like the state basically saying, yeah, we think your project's done, but that doesn't constitute our,
With our fake graves, whatever, the Quinn engineer went up there and said all they needed was grass, so.
right, that was
We got
so
the
long
grass.
ago, and now it's been done.
That's 2 years now.
Yeah. All right, so that takes care of that. So that brings us to our our accessory dwelling unit bylaw. So, Jane, we all remember Jane.
Mhm.
Jane Warwick has taken a job in, I believe, Oklahoma.
So now we gotta start over?
Well, no, so I was able to speak with a gentleman, I think his name was Brian, you remember what was on that email?
I remember the email, but I don't remember his name. I thought that she was still, the way the email read, it sounded like she was still at a presence, but.
She was working remotely, is what he
Somewhat,
explained
yeah,
to me.
she was still involved.
Yeah.
It didn't imply that she was
Okay.
heading west and then a couple thousand miles.
The
She's
wagon
gone.
train.
Oh.
This is the one that kept coming, right?
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
here every
yeah,
meeting,
yeah.
except for this one, I was kind of wondering, like, what's going on?
I actually saw
Where is
it
she?
for charter use, somebody was booming a modular home, putting it right behind their house, and all the neighbors were screaming and yelling.
Oh, yeah.
Small lot, 20,000 square foot, and they were putting up like 1,200.
So I actually didn't bring my copy with me, but I did go through all of that stuff that Jane had sent us before she left.
Yeah.
And
I read it over, I thought it was,
yeah,
I thought it was all good.
I thought everything that she put in there, the changes she suggested and everything, they were in line with our list of things that we basically talked about,
Mhm.
that we, the way we wanted to structure things. As far as, you know, obviously, one has to be by right, and then anything after that would be by special permit.
Permit.
And the curb cuts were already taken care of, that as far as 2 are already allowed by right.
By right.
All of that. The only thing I thought of it today, and I have to just check, is somewhere in our subdivision regulations, we do have a stipulation saying that you can't have more than one dwelling on a lot in town, anywhere in town. And that would have to change, because that would be contradictory to the accessory.
I thought that was removed at one point.
It's in there.
It's still in there?
It's still in there.
Okay. That's in the subdivision, it's not in zoning.
It's actually in both, I think.
Yeah, definitely in zoning. I remember Nelson talking about
Yeah,
it.
and I think it's actually in the subdivision too, because Nelson and I had a discussion about it, because somebody who had a garage in the back of their house wanted to convert the garage into an apartment, and so, well, I can't do it according to this, and it's because it literally said anywhere in town.
Yeah, but that's contradictory to state laws.
Yeah, you can't
Right, so
overrule state
as
laws.
long as we're going to be putting in all this stuff in
Oh,
the
to change it.
ADUs,
We should
let's
take it
strike
out
that.
of both of them.
Right.
Well, I thought we were striking everywhere. It says it in the bylaw, because there's a definition section
They already
too.
have like 2
No, that was, you're thinking of accessory apartment, she was talking about striking the accessory apartment.
All right, so that's.
She didn't, I don't think she mentioned anything about, she probably didn't even see it, because it's in a different part of the,
So can we get in touch with her or her replacement to let them know that we should have those 2 items also stricken? when we
Sure,
Do
yeah,
that?
yeah.
So who, do you have a contact for her, or?
I've
We
got
have- we have an email.
I got the email from Brian.
Okay.
Basically her
Her
replacement
replacement.
over at CMRPC.
Okay,
And I told him that we had already talked about that we were going to get together at this meeting.
Yeah.
And just finalize what Jane had suggested, and then send it back to him.
yeah, I mean, I thought everything she did was great, and I do remember what you're talking about, but I thought that was removed a long time ago.
And he did mention that they are getting more, they're starting to get more feedback from some of the things that are being submitted to state
Yeah.
level from other towns.
Yeah, they got over 200 something permits.
Really?
I was watching a video
State.
online, there's a company, I think it's in Plymouth, Massachusetts, that builds them. And they showed you they had a video of the first 2 that they built in Plymouth, and they're building 900 square foot ADUs in 10 weeks, complete, from stick built, from foundation to turnkey, open the door and walk in, 10 weeks.
Yeah, I believe it.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's like 26 by, I think the guy said it was 26 by 35 or something like that.
Are these prefabricated? Or
No,
these-
they're building them.
I think I did see that
They're-
actually.
It's called Buildex or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they want to do communities like that.
Yep.
Small housing communities, where you have to put a park in, you have to have a community
Don't bring your
area.
dog though, huh?
Or big dog.
Oh, boy. Okay, all right, so,
Okay, well, there's that one.
so, yep, next up, we got planner's plate. We got nothing there because we don't have a planner yet. David had asked me before the meeting started if there was anything new on town planner. So we have a new applicant. He's gone through 1 round of interviews. So we're looking at setting up an interview with him next week,
Monday.
Monday.
And that would be an interview that you would be a part of.
I would be in a part of it, and it's just it's the 2 town administrators and the 2 planning board chairs. So it's not a whole.
Yeah, I know, but that's the way they set it up.
I know, but we tried to form a search committee
Right.
when we were gonna have a full-blown planner, but they're not doing it.
Okay.
So,
Let's see how this.
It's more input than we got on the last.
Further along.
yeah. Okay, so, comments from the planning board. Anybody have anything they wanna?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, okay. Comments from the audience, we've got nobody left.
Break the place out.
Yeah, clean the place out. Other business, approve and set the next meeting date, November 26th or December 10th. So November 26th is obviously, that's our placeholder meeting, just in case we get a last minute A&R.
Yep.
And when is Thanksgiving?
Day after.
The day before or after that.
Day after, yeah, 27.
That one's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
That'll be 27th. I don't think
Okay.
26th is gonna fly.
And then the next official full meeting will be December 10th.
Our last, maybe our last of the year.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Approval of consultant vouchers, payment of bills. Do we have anything?
There is one in there. It came in after I set the agenda. It's from Graves.
Okay.
This is for Sophie's Way Peer Engineer Review.
Okay.
$900.76?
Should be the only one in your binder.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we have Braden to allow him to pay the Graves Engineering bill of $900.76 for the Sophie Way subdivision.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay.
And, let's see,
Other town notices.
other town notices? Nothing. Right, other correspondence? Nothing?
Nothing important.
Okay, all right.
Will we adjourn?
All right, we have two motions to adjourn.
Second Clark's.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.